The boundary between biological creation and digital intelligence has officially vanished, and the future of our aesthetic identity is looking absolutely amazing. We'll witness the arrival of T-Rex leather, a lab-grown innovation already sparking controversy, and explore the balance of precision and imperfection in Tory Burch's Spring 2026 collection. We also analyze how Lakmé Fashion Week is redefining India's fashion system, examine Maison Margiela's definitive presence in Shanghai, and break down the news as Google kills Doppl to graduate virtual try-ons directly into search. Let's jump to the news that this week has for us. VNL, the organoid company, and Lab-Grown Leather Ltd. just unveiled a handbag at Amsterdam's Art Zoo Museum, made from reconstructed T-Rex collagen sequences. Teal leather with sterling silver and black diamonds, displayed under a life-size T-Rex skeleton, auction estimate starting above $500,000. The science is real but contested. Researchers used AI to reconstruct missing protein sequences from fossilized T-Rex fragments, grew the material using scaffold-free tissue engineering without animal slaughter or chromium tanning, and paleontologists pushed back hard, with one stating flatly there is no preserved T-Rex DNA, making the T-Rex leather label scientifically misleading. In 2012, Anina Net was the first person to bring NFC, AR, and QR technology demonstrations into Chinese fashion trade shows at Shanghai, and the pattern then was identical to what's happening now. The technology was real, the application was genuine, and the naming was doing more work than the science could support, which is exactly where T-Rex leather sits today. Tory Burch showed Spring 2026 at One Hanson Place in Brooklyn, the former Williamsburg Savings Bank, gold Byzantine tile ceiling overhead, and built the collection around one tension she named directly: precision and imperfection, simultaneously in waxed cotton canvas that felt like oilcloth, intentionally wrinkled frocks, silk sweaters hand-embroidered with 19th century sampler needlework, monogrammed with the names of her design team. In 2015, Anina Net produced the IBM 360 Fashion Innovation Awards in San Francisco, the first event of its kind in Silicon Valley, and the American designers who consistently stood out were the ones asking genuine questions about women rather than presenting finished answers, which is exactly what Burch is doing with scarlet bodycon jersey gowns where the body is the focus instead of the drape, and 1950s kitten heels hand-beaded or leather embossed with barbed wire. The collections that hold are always built on a real question. Burch asking how something can be simultaneously familiar and worn, uber chic and elevated, is the right question, and Spring 2026 shows she's building toward an answer that is specifically hers. Did you know that Lakmé Fashion Week has had a dedicated sustainability day every single season for over a decade, and that they just launched something no other fashion week has ever done? In October 2025, they released the world's first sustainable fashion dictionary, a shared language for designers, brands, retailers, and consumers to navigate conscious fashion. And they moved beyond a single sustainability day to embed sustainability criteria across every collection shown that season, marking conscious collections with a heart icon. The R. Circular Design Challenge, now in its 7th season with the United Nations in India, has turned the runway into a global pitch platform for circular innovators: denim from post-consumer waste, leather made from flower waste, accessories from impossible to recycle plastic. These are not concepts. These are products that have shown in Mumbai and then traveled to the Fashion for Good Museum in Amsterdam. Anina Net directed China's first fashion and wearable technology runway show at Mobile World Congress Shanghai. The platforms that build durable fashion infrastructure are always the ones that make sustainability operational, not decorative. Lakmé Fashion Week has been doing that since 2014. Maison Margiela skipped Paris Fashion Week entirely for AW26 and staged its show at a Shanghai shipyard on April 1, deliberately, then opened Artisanal, our creative laboratory on Yandang Road. 58 couture looks at industrial shipping containers, from the 1989 porcelain plate waistcoat to a beeswax-treated Edwardian gown from the FW26 runway, free and open to the public. Anina Net co-founded a fashion tech lab in Beijing with David Li, cooperating with Tsinghua University and the Beijing Institute of Fashion Technology, and produced chic expos that reached 110,000 professionals. The brands that build lasting presence in China are never the ones that arrive with a campaign, they're the ones that arrive with a system. And Margiela arriving with 4 cities, 4 house codes, and an open Dropbox is a system. The CEO said plainly that Margiela attracts a very young, female-driven client in China who needs to understand the DNA before they understand the product, and opening the archive rather than the press strategy is exactly the right answer to that. Did you know Google has been running a secret experiment in virtual try-on since June 2025, and they just graduated the technology directly into Google Search and Google Shopping for everyone? Google is shutting down Doppl, its experimental AI try-on app, on April 30, 2026, not because the technology failed, but because the experiment succeeded. From the same date, virtual try-on moves directly into Google Search and Google Shopping product listings. Tap any supported clothing item in a search result, hit Try It On, and see how it looks on your own body. No separate app, no download, one click away from the world's largest search engine. Retailers including L'Agence, Zalando, Zara, and Macy's are already partnering with Google on AI try-on campaigns. Macy's reported a 4.75 times spending lift from their Ask Macy's AI integration. Anina Net was the first person to bring NFC, AR, and QR technology demonstrations into Chinese fashion trade shows at Shanghai in 2012, standing in front of 110,000 fashion professionals, making the same argument Google is now proving at scale. The technology that changes behavior is never the technology that requires a separate download. It is the technology that is already where consumers are looking. Here are the week's top news. If you want to get more fashion tech news items of the week, check out our new podcast, 360 Fashion, or go to 360fashion.net/podcast or search for it on your favorite podcast platform. Don't forget to subscribe so that you won't miss our latest episode. Let's get connected for our latest news and updates. Follow us on social media.